Good morning, happy Wednesday. Today for our Wednesday webinar, we've got Clay Peak and Dave Schlarb from Peak Performance Insurance. They're going to be discussing ACA products and how to sell ACA year-round, as well as any other awesome tidbits of information. So here we go, Clay. I'll let you go ahead and take it from there.
Well, thanks, Sean. So good to visit with everybody here at the agency. And David Schlarb is your agency care team leader who's dedicated to help all of the agents from Secure Insurance Group, from those of you on the life side, to help all of you at Impact. So I'm glad we're able to spend time. I'll get more from David soon. He has practical on-the-street experience. Nearly all of our agent care team members also sell insurance. So he'll be able to be a resource for you guys, even more valuable than I am. But let me talk for a few minutes about what we're coming out of. This is today, as we record this live, is the last day of the annual election period. Congratulations, you survived. Some of you did a lot. Some of you are disappointed, and that happens. As the market goes, if you're new to the market, you probably were scratching for people to talk to. If you were experienced, then maybe you ran out of time. So it is what it is. And by the way, part of my message to you this morning, and because I know that probably overall your agency is likely 60% Medicare, 30% life, and then 5% growing health and other things that you do, another 5%. So probably the first message from Clay Peak and David Schlarb is, we don't want you to stop doing what you're doing. You're already good at Medicare and life. We want to enhance that. We don't want to diminish that. We don't want you to take your eyes off of the ball. What we do, we think will help you sell more Medicare, more life. So please understand that's our heart. We want to help you sell more all year round, see more people, sell more insurance. But this is a tool that many of you aren't aware of. So some of you were with me a few weeks ago. We did an introductory class. And I'm not going to repeat that information, although some of the principles will be touched on again. But let me just share with you this as, I guess, as a summary thought, and I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint and just kind of use this as a guide to help us go through the process. Let me hit the screen share. That might be helpful too. I lost it. Let me find it again. Here it is. Screen share. Okay, so go there. So the bottom line, and let me know if you can see that. Everybody can see my slide right here? Good. Is that I want you to understand that selling the Affordable Care Act, first about the product, these are the deepest, richest, most comprehensive health insurance plans ever sold in the history of the world. Now listen, it doesn't matter politically whether you liked how it was created or how it was legislated. It wasn't my favorite, but you do need to know that there's never before been a guaranteed issue, no pre-ex limitation, unlimited benefit plan like this. Now, the fact is, with the Affordable Care Act, there are subsidies to help lower the cost for most Americans. About 92% of all Americans can enjoy a reduction on the cost of the premium. So you've got the deepest, richest, most comprehensive plans, in most cases at a price you can afford. Plans that are guaranteed issue, no pre-ex, no dollar limits. And when I say no dollar limits, I mean 10, 11, 12, $20 million bills paid. Selling this is easier, faster, and less complicated than you imagine. If you've ever done Medicare, and we're an FMO in the Medicare space, so I encourage that process, but that's a 2-hour sale, especially with a new client, to walk through and explain everything and check all the doctors and check all the drugs. This is so much easier, faster, and less complicated. It's a bigger market that you imagine. It's not 10,000 a day turning 65. It's 50 million people that are eligible right now. So I know the MA market is big. The Medicare Sup market is big. This is bigger. It's more profitable than you think. You probably have some wrong thinking about that. I'll help correct that as we go. It's more secure. It's not going away. Legislatively, it's done. It's not going to change. Judicially, it's done. Financially, it's in the books. It's become an entitlement. And the big carriers, the Aetnas, the Cignas, the United Healths are now back in this game. And we have proprietary tools and marketing that we will share with your team that you don't know about. So let me just pause that screen share for a second and go to my page here. And please indicate, David, you can still see my Health Sherpa sign in. Is that right, buddy?
Yep.
Okay, so when you sell ACA, you use a free quoting platform. We like to use Health Sherpa. And when I just hit login, it's going to show me all my clients, all that stuff, and agency and marketing stuff. But to actually quote someone, I go to quote on exchange. Okay. And for many of the states in our country, probably 25 or 30 of them, you can use this to quote and enroll. So, Sean, if you're able to share with me, what's a Springfield zip code, if you don't mind?
65807 is a good one.
All right. So let's say we have a male, female, age 45. Okay. And so, and they have two kids, 13 and 10. Now, what you saw me type in was a zip code, who is applying for coverage, how many in the household. Sometimes only 3 of the 4 are applying, but in this case, mom, dad, and kids. And let's say they make $75,000, which is above the national average income. And when I do that, boom, immediately see on the right that some of the applicants aren't eligible. They actually go to Medicaid. The children will actually be dropped into Medicaid. But for the mom and dad, there's a savings of $818 a month. Okay. Now, if they get denied Medicaid, then they can come on the health plan. But so what happens is the system automatically extracted the 2 kids and said, hey, they go to Medicaid where there's 0 doctor copay, 0 hospital, some dental benefits. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. And if the income was a little higher, maybe the kids would fall off Medicaid and be on the parent's plan. But it told me that quickly. It would take me about 10 seconds to type that in. And when I hit enter, it instantly tells me eligibility and rates. Now you can't see the rates, they're down below, but when this stuff on the right popped up, that meant the rates also popped up. So that's how instantaneously you can quote. We like to say it's an 18-second quote and an 8-minute enrollment. I want to demystify selling ACA for you. Zip code, ages, income, and boom, rates pop up. I'll scroll down and show you some of the rates. So mom and dad only are starts at $77. This is a plain Jane, high deductible, no frills deal. Okay. Then you get one with a free doctor visit for $113. Again, a big deductible. And you scroll down some more, you'll see here's one with a $50 doctor and $100 specialist with a little less deductible, but a big out of pocket. By the way, should you be afraid of the big out of pocket? Well, it's kind of like Medicare, $6,700, $7,000, kind of the range with a lot of Medicare Advantage. But you can drop a gap plan on that couple for about 50, 60 bucks a month and shield them from thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars expenses. So those are some of the options. And you see, it just goes on and on. If you scroll down, you'll see there's multiple pages of options. Back on this one that was kind of attractive, it was $962, but with the subsidy or the amount of the advanced premium tax credit, it reduced it to $144.88. Well, Clay, you're showing about 10 plans, and then you're showing 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 or 7 pages of plans. How can a person new to ACA ever understand all those plans? Well, here's the good news. Everything you need is right here. Okay. So let me set your thinking correctly. In the Medicare world, you start out with who are your doctors and who are your drugs. You don't do that in the ACA. And because they're mostly younger and healthier, we still ask, do you have lots of health conditions? Do you take lots of medications? Do you see lots of doctors? But when they're 35 or 45, they're probably going to say, not so much. Okay. If they did, we would spend the same kind of time asking about drugs and doctors. But we asked the screening question, do you take lots of medications? Do you see lots of doctors? And when they don't say yes, we stop asking about doctors and drugs. I'm not going to spend the first 30 minutes of my time searching for doctors and drugs they don't take. So real quickly, I've just chopped down about half of the complication about helping someone. Now, if you need a doctor, you click on this tab that tells you. If you need to see if the drug's in the formulary, you can do so. If you need a deeper description of the benefits, you can click the benefits tab, and a very long and detailed explanation of benefits will pop up. That usually isn't necessary, but if you want to see it, you can. We're glad for you to see that. Everything you need to see about this plan is right here. And so my deductible is this. Another $1,500 of co-insurance, that's the 20% you'd pay after deductible, would mean you total $9,000. But the first day it's $50 to see a doctor. The first day it's $100 to see a specialist, which sounds like a lot, but my orthopedic surgeon charges me $250 a pop. So $100, not so bad. So now you can buy deeper, richer, lower out-of-pocket plans. I'm showing you the cheaper ones that are bronze plans. But again, you can get plan details and benefits. And if you like what you see, you click add to cart. And from that point, you are 8 minutes from being done, unless you type like this. If you type like that, it might take you 12. Okay. So by the way, when I click, I like that Aetna plan. I want to get that Aetna plan. When you do that, you put in their name, date of birth, or the name, date of birth, and the state that you're applying in, and boom, it may pop up that they have had previous coverage or they currently are covered. If that's the case, you just got to verify their home address and job and family, ages and income, but you don't have to type it in. You just got to verify what's already there. So it might not take you 8 minutes. It might take you 4 minutes. What I'm saying is it's easy to quote, easy to understand, easy to enroll. Kind of the opposite that what you've just been through the last 7 weeks. Not to make fun of that market, not to tell you not to do it. I'm just saying you'll take a sigh of relief. This is so much easier and faster than what you're used to. Okay. And so getting used to this platform is 90% of your job. Let's play around with this a little bit. Let's make them make $90,000 a year. What happens when we do that? When we do that, the kids fall off of Medicaid. See that part's gone. The savings remains, but the kids are not on Medicaid. And the price doesn't go up that much. That Medicaid plan with no doctor copay is $187. Ambetter shows up. Let's see. We saw, there's the CVS. It's now about $100 more. It's $236, but the kids are also covered in the same plan. So that's how this works. By the way, one more thing. If they earned less, say $50,000, they now are also eligible to enjoy what's called cost share reduction, which means if you choose a silver plan, it'll actually have a lot less out-of-pocket costs. So we focused on bronze plans before, and there's a bunch of zero premium bronze plans. By the way, about half our business is zero premium. But I'm going to scroll down the bottom and go to some silver plans and show you the difference. So let's just see, expanded bronze. So here's the silver plan. It's $48. It's an $800 deductible, $3,000 out of pocket, because they qualify for CSR. See that cost share reduction, which means it's not just going to reduce their premium, it's going to squeeze your deductibles, co-insurance, and co-pays down. So for $50, the husband and wife have this based on income. And you'll see other options that may look attractive, and I'll let you play with that and search on your own. But really, it's a huge opportunity to give folks some excellent insurance for a very modest cost. And you can play around. Well, let's say they earned $125,000. By the way, what would it cost them at an employer to pay for a family plan? Well, even if the employer paid 100% of the employee, the cost of mom and the kids would likely be $1,000 to $1,500 to maybe $2,000 just for the dependents, assuming the husband or whoever works is covered 100% at work. So just covering the spouse and 2 kids is easily $1,000, probably more like 15, and could be 2,000 or more. Let's scroll down and see what it would cost. Well, now it's 500 for all 4, which isn't free, but it's a lot less than 1,500 or 2,000 bucks a month. So that gives you a sense. 625 if all 4 of them were on a plan, but they made $125,000 a year. And 625 is a lot less than 1,473, which is what it would be if they had no subsidy. So people making higher incomes still get lots of help. So I'm sharing this with you to understand my market is bigger than I realize. It isn't just for folks who are at the very, very low end of the income scale. Even some higher income people get help. Oh, just for fun, let's put them up there in a little higher altitude and see what happens. Let's make it 175,000. I'm just curious myself. They're still going to save some money. It won't be quite as cheap, but now it's 876, and you'll see other plans $1,000, $900, $1,000, et cetera, options that are available for them. So I'm just saying that there are subsidies available for people even in pretty high income brackets. So I want to expand your thinking. Okay. Is there a question or comment about that before I proceed on? So let me talk about selling year round. There aren't marketing guidelines in Medicare like there are in Medicare Advantage. You can talk to people, you can phone call people as long as you're on the do not call list. You can call every business. There is no do not call list for business. You can talk to people in the street. You can knock on doors. You can do all the things you couldn't do the last 7 weeks, and it's legal, lawful, and encouraged and profitable. And a lot of folks aren't aware of these savings, but I want to talk to you about two things. First of all, the income, and then the year-round selling. Okay, so we're going to focus our time today. You need to think of the Affordable Care Act as far as income, as an increasing income annuity. You sell Medicare, life insurance, dental plans to get cash flow. When you sell ACA, you're building a long-term, slow-growing, but steady income. So you sell those things for cash flow. You sell these things to build wealth and stability in your life. And I'll give you this illustration. In some states, the commissions are higher with some states and some carriers. In other states, commissions are lower. Usually they're paid per member per month. So a family of 4, most carriers, most states will pay you so much per member per state. In Florida and Texas, it's pretty high. In some states, it's more moderate. Okay. So I'm going to use $20. Now, you may not be paid $20. It depends on where you live, how experienced you are, what plans you're talking about. But I'm going to use $20 because I'm not good at math and I can understand this illustration. Okay. I was on a class just like yours with a couple hundred agents on a Monday with an agency that we have in Florida. And one of the agents whom I know, because he attended my boot camp last spring in Cincinnati, was on the class, and they were acknowledging their top 10 agents. And Doug was one of the top 10 agents. And they said he sold some of this and sold some of that and some of this, and he sold 5 ACA lives. And they clapped and moved on. I thought, 5 lives. That could have been a family of 4 and a single. Doug may have taken an hour and a half to sell those 5 lives. But what does 5 lives mean? Well, family of 4, if you're making $20 per member per month, is $80 a month. Well, that isn't impressive, but times 12 is $960 a year, and it probably didn't take him an hour. And by the way, these commissions are typically level, so it's $1,000 every year. So he sold 5, so $100 a month is $1,200 a year. What if he did that every week for a year? What if he sold an average 5 lives at $20 per member per month? And again, some states, some carriers, it's lower. So I'm not saying that's what you're going to get paid. In some states and carriers, it's actually higher than that, but that's kind of an average. What if he did that 5 lives a week, every week for a year? And some weeks he'd sell 10, and some weeks he'd sell 0. He'd sell 7, he'd sell 3, but he averaged 5, 50 weeks a year. Well, in a year, he's making $5,000 a month as earned, $60,000 a year, and it doesn't go down year 2. When I say it's an increasing income annuity without a whole lot of work, you can add a lot of stability to your life. Now your mortgage is paid. Now your car is paid. Probably electric bill, and depending how many kids you have, Doug has 9. Maybe your food bill's paid. Maybe not Doug's, but maybe your food bill's paid. Okay, so I want you to think about this income that way. And yes, it takes a long time to get paid. You write it, and finally 3 months later, you get paid as earned. You're thinking, well, that was fantastic. I made $20 3 months later. Yeah, you just keep throwing that fish on the pile. Just keep, and look behind you in a year and see how big the pile of fish is and see what the income is. And because there's such a big market, it's awesome. So I'm going to skip a few slides because we talked about those, and I'm going to show you where to see this full presentation. But let's talk about 12-month selling. Many of you are just now finishing your AEP. You know, you're sitting there with my mom, who's 83. And what you can't say is, so you mentioned your brother Curtis and Freddie, your 2 brothers. What are their names and what's their full names, numbers, and contact? I want to reach out to them. Well, you can't do that in the Medicare Advantage space. But you could say to my mom, if she were your client, hey, do you have any kids or grandkids who need help? You can ask that question. They can tell you names and phone numbers. And I'm going to call and say, hey, Stacy, your mom, Barbara, I just helped her with a Medicare plan. She said, I should call you to make sure you're taken care of for health insurance. Do you have 5 minutes? I can give you a quote in 18 seconds. And now I've got people to talk to. Some of you are great at life insurance, probably better than me at selling life insurance. When you sell a family of 4, 35-year-old guy, kind of like David, that span of age, a $500,000 policy, it may have cost him $48 a month. And you totally protected them from a devastating, horrifying financial calamity should that head of family die. When you're done with that $48 application, when you say to them, by the way, who else can I talk to? It's all of a sudden they get memory loss. They don't know anybody. Oh, I can't think of anybody. When you save someone $500 or $1,000 a month on their health insurance or give them a 0 premium plan, do you know that they don't forget the names of their friends and families and coworkers? They'll actually tell you people you should call. In fact, they'll tell people to call you. It's a year-round market. There are people to talk to. And you can get referrals out of this space. Oh, by the way, if they were looking at paying $1,500 a month for the dependents, because let's say they had a household covered at work, and you took them down to $200, you just saved them $1,300 a month, about $15,000 a year. Do you think you could sell them a life policy with a $1,300 a month savings? See, what we're doing is going to create more business for you. You may think that this is hard. It's not hard. It's fast and easy, and it's massive, and it's easy to get referrals. And when you save people money, you can make the second and third life and critical illness and dental sale. And by the way, some of our clients turn 65 over time, okay? And you can sell your Medicare products. Okay, let's talk about another way that this is 12-month selling. So I didn't spend much time on this one the last time I visited with this team. I'm going to spend more time on it today. People in the 100 to 150% of the federal poverty level can purchase ACA 12 months a year. Think of it like dual eligibles or LIS, people who get extra help on Medicare. There's a certain category of income that you can write year round. So let's talk about that and explain that a little more. And I'll just bring up a page. Here is a sample federal poverty limit guide, okay? So a household of one or an individual making $13,590 can buy health insurance year-round as long as he doesn't make more than $20,385. These are the 2022 poverty guidelines. They won't come out in 23 to probably May or June. But right now, someone making at least $13,590 and no more than $20,385 can buy it year-round. A family of four making at least $27,750, but not more than $41,625 can buy an ACA policy around. And by the way, at those levels of income, they're not going to get a bronze plan with a $9,000 deductible. They're going to get a silver plan with a 0 deductible or a $500 or an $800 deductible, and maybe $1,000 or $2,000 out of pocket max. Silver plan for 0, okay, year round. Okay, so this is the nature of the beast. Now in ACA, in most states, if they don't make at least that much money, you're going to put them on Medicaid. And I'll talk about the states that have Medicaid expansion. So they've got to make at least that much money to go on an ACA plan. In the states that have Medicaid expansion, actually, your window is only about 18 to 20, okay, for an individual, and 38 to 41, and I'll explain that in a moment. So why do I say that? Let's talk about Medicaid expansion states. So in these orange states, there is no Medicaid expansion. So in the Southeast, especially, you can help that 100 to 150 federal poverty level person year round and sell an ACA plan. In the blue states, like Missouri, where Sean is, they're covered by Medicaid if they make up to 138% of the federal poverty level. So the earlier slide I had shown you, let me see if it's still up there. No, it's not. Let me go back to the PowerPoint. This earlier slide. So in those blue states, if they make less than 18,754, they go to Medicaid expansion. In the orange states is 13 to 20. In the blue states, it's 18 to 20. They can buy year round. So it's a little more limited. So frankly, if you can focus your marketing I'm trying to escape my page here, it's fighting me. There we go. If you can focus your marketing around the year. Well, my page isn't opening up. There it is. In the orange states, then it really is easy to sell that Medicaid, what would be Medicaid in the blue states, 100 to 150 FPL, 12 months a year. In fact, David.
Yes, sir.
We have an agent colleague who lives a couple hours south of us. Her name is Melissa.
Mhm.
Does she like to sell these people year round?
Yeah, she almost does this exclusively. It's a gigantic market and, underserved. And she's taking advantage of just allowing her to help as many people as possible. So, and it's paying off tremendously for her as well.
Well, let me think. Most agents who sold Medicare Advantage, if they had new clients, spent most of the last 7 weeks helping if they have clients, spend a lot of their time helping their clients. They almost didn't get to sell a lot of new stuff because they were so busy helping their current clients. Those of you who were new agents had a hard time finding people to talk to at all. How many clients did our friend Melissa sell the month of September? Do you remember, David?
Yeah, she sold 700.
She made 700
700.
the month of September. Now she's grown to the point where she has 2 helpers. And she does a lot by text, frankly. I mean, she's got an incoming lead system that she's created, but when you reach out and find people in those orange states who are in those income brackets, you can sell them a silver plan for 12 months a year. She now has over 4,000 clients. What's 4,000 times 20 bucks a month? Anybody? It's $80,000 a month as earned. Now, she's an anomaly. She's a beast. But we routinely have guys who sell hundreds and hundreds of cases a year, some 1,000 cases a year. So there's more business out there than you possibly can grasp. You can do this 12 months a year. Let me share one more thought and then we'll tee off of that and stop, okay? So on that page where I talked about selling 12 months a year, there's a second group you can sell to 12 months a year. So if an employer has 50 or more full-time employees, or maybe he has 40 full-timers, but he has 30 part-timers. Well, they call those full-time equivalents. He has more than 50 full-time equivalents. Those employers have to offer a group health plan. Okay. But when you're that small, it's still expensive. The groups under 50, they don't have to offer a group health plan. However, many of them do for competitive reasons. It's hard to find and retain great employees. So offering benefits like health insurance is one way employers do this. But sometimes those employers and their employees are getting savaged by the cost of their small group health plan. Something common for employers to pay $600, $700, $800, $1,000. For someone my age, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 a month to offer health insurance. In a group less than 50, it's not mandated by federal law to have a group health plan, but they are mandated by the marketplace to offer some insurance, by the marketplace of competition. You have a plumbing business and you have 32 plumbers, you better offer health insurance or someone's going to steal your people. So they have to offer benefits, even though they're not required by law if they're under 50. But if those rates are ridiculous, scandalous, you can walk in with an ACA program and terminate the group health plan and move everybody to individual coverage. And you can do that 12 months a year. You just got to get the employer's ear. Are you spending a lot of money on health insurance? Yeah. Does anybody like it? No. Can they afford to cover their spouse and kids? No, it's too expensive. Well, how about you just collapse the group and write them ACA? When you do that, what you're going to find is there's 50 million people in that space. There are more than 50 million people who work in groups of under 50 employees across America, over almost 14 million businesses. But what will happen is the employer is saving so much money, he will gladly pay for some dental and some life insurance, maybe some accidental injury. And now you're selling 3 or 4 or 5 policies at a time. I mentioned the dependents. Let me go to one last slide. I'm going to skip these and go to one last slide. And it's this. Those dependents until November 1st that were on that large or small group health plan could not get a subsidy. So while the groups under 50 employees didn't have to have a group health plan, if they did though, the dependents couldn't get a subsidy, even if they made $30,000 a year and could have qualified for one. And of course, a large group employer, many of those, millions of people, 140 million people on a group health plan, their dependents also could not get a subsidy, but that was called the family glitch, and it's been fixed. And now people who work as an employee of any size group, large or small, their dependents, if the cost of the group health plan for the spouse and kids is not affordable, those folks can now get a subsidy. And we can help those folks tremendously. And now, what you may not know is that the open enrollment for health goes through January 15th. So those of you who are just hot off of your last day of AEP, if you get with Sean and Brooke today and get your contracts going, you could be selling in a couple of days. You could be enrolling in a week or two. You could be selling, saving the data, and then typing in the data once you have a writing number in a week or so, and be making lots of money and still having an open enrollment wide open door till January 15th. But after January 15th, we're still writing business. We're still selling people year round, people who have life changes, people who are dropping small group. As a group changes, picking off the dependents, maybe that group re-enrolls in July or September, pick off the dependents. So there's lots of selling to do in this space. So let me kind of point you in conclusion, then I'll take some questions. How can I take next steps if I'm pretty new to this and I don't really know what to do? Well, I would say talk to Sean, talk to David Schlarb. You can go to peaktraining.com, PEEK training.com, and hit this 12-month health sales tab. It'll bring up a page. It looks like this, which talks about the 12-month health journey. What are we talking about today? How to do this 12 months a year. And you'll see a longer, you'll see a map of where to go and what to do, but you'll see a longer version of this class called the Opportunity Show on step one. There's 6 steps to writing 1,000 cases a year. Step one is learning this big opportunity. So I've given you a little chunk of a bigger class called the Opportunity Show. You can watch that. You can learn more with the family glitch about collapsing groups, all that stuff. And if you like what you see, here's how you take the steps to get ready. You go to 2A and watch the prep class. It will tell you how to certify, how to contract, how to set up your own Health Sherpa portal and enrollment platform. And we'll show you how to get basic training to learn more of the parts of ACA. So if you like what you see, go to Peak Training, maybe see the fuller version of this class. And if you're ready to roll, go to step 2. And this class tells you everything you need to know to be ready to sell. Sean can provide the contracting. There's a generic version here. You can use it as long as you put in your manager and your agency. There's a place to put that, but it's better if you use Sean's. Maybe Sean and Brooke can send everybody a contracting link. But if you watch this class, you don't need to call Sean or Brooke or David. It tells you everything to do to get certified, to get appointed, to get your Health Sherpa platform set up, and it takes you to a training platform, ACA for Rookies, ACA Blast Off, ACA University, and it gets you rolling in the right direction. So I'll ask 2 things. David, if you have some comments to add, and then Sean, if there are any questions in the chat that you'd like to elevate. David, anything you want to add to what I've shared?
Yeah, I would definitely take, this was a 30,000-foot view. That opportunity show is very, very important to that. I can't stress it enough. It is a longer video, but it gives you the real in-depth stuff. So I would really, really take advantage of that. Even though it's long, watch it for 30 minutes, write some notes, watch it for 30 minutes, write some notes. Take advantage of guys like me. I'm very accessible. If you have questions, you can call me, email me, all kinds of fun stuff. But take the time to look through this. This is a huge opportunity. And I'll tell you this, it's a weekly, if not daily basis that I talk to another Medicare guy that says, oh, I got to get into it now. And I was like, why? I've been giving my referrals away. I had a gentleman a couple of weeks ago. I've been giving my referrals away for ACA. And I said, how many did you give away? He said, I gave 400 away. I was like, buddy, 400 policies, 400 policies is $100,000 in income, pal. Like, he's like, I know. So it's money that you could be stepping over. And all it does is make you a more valuable agent. If we are working with clients, we want to be the client from health, life, and Medicare and final expense. That's what makes us a good health agent. This is just an other opportunity to help the people that you're already working with, because all the people you're working with have kids and they have grandkids. And all you really have to do is just tell them, hey, I'm doing this now, but take advantage of me, take advantage of this site. There's 200 stinking hours of training on here. For a lot of it, it's free. So we're here for you. We want to help as much as you can. We're really excited. And what gets us going and what makes us up in the morning is watching you guys be successful. Clay, there's a couple questions in the chat if you wanted to jump on those.
Yeah, see that we can help you build some of you are agency managers or you're building a team. Absolutely, we can help you do that and create a hierarchy and a management override and assist you in recruiting and contracting and those kind of things. We handle everything, the contracting, the training, the payroll. You just got to spread the good news. So yes, absolutely. David would love to talk to you about that, how to help you build your team.
That's good. I like it.
Sean, anything else?
Yes, there's a couple questions about the recording of this video in particular. That is going to be available on our training center. It's going to be 2 to 3 days for us to edit it, get the thumbnail, and get it coded into the training center. As far as access to the training center, all of our agents should have gotten the subject line is welcome. It was probably sent when you first got into our system and got contracted, but it was within the last month. That email has the link to the training center, as well as your username and your password. If you can't find that email, let me know and I can reset your password and basically send you a new email. But this recording in particular, that's where it will be.
Yeah. And like I said, you go to peaktraining.com, just register, click on the 12-month health sales tab, and you can scroll down and watch a longer format of today's class. And if you choose to take the next steps, there you go, step 2A. And that'll tell you everything you need to know. Well, friends, it's been a pleasure visiting with you. I put David's email address in the chat. Dave.
Clay, what's your email?
Clay P. Everybody here is first name, last initial, Clay P at ppisales.info, ppisales.info. And we'd love to help you any way we can. When you go to the contracting, reach out to Sean, but if somehow you end up on this generic contract format, remember all we're doing with Secure Insurance Group and Impact are ACA plans. So when you get to their link, it won't have anything else on it. But if you wander onto a generic one, don't ask for Medicare, don't ask for life insurance. You got a wonderful situation there. Put in Brian's name or Secure Insurance Group or Impact, just be sure to identify who you are if you get on generic, but Sean actually has the agency specific one that you
I can put it in chat if you want me to.
The link at the contract, that'd be great. If you could do that right now, that'd be good.
Yep.
You can click on that link and it will only share with you the contracts that we do together. And by the way, we won't appoint you or your downline for products that we don't have with the agency, Medicare and life that so don't ask. Our loyalty and commitment is to your agency. And by that, we stay in our lane. Our lane is ACA. And so we want to help build that aspect and we want to do it well, but this is you and your agents and your agency. We only are lent them to serve, not to take. So you're safe building a downline with us because we'll also honor your agency hierarchy and protect you from your agents, going outside the line. So we want to help you do what we help, which is the health part. So that's our line. That's our lane. Anything else, Sean or anybody else? Ask now. Yeah,
I'm
David.
good. I'm just double checking the chat and I don't see. Hey, David, thank you for posting that link. That is awesome. And yes, as Clay and Dave both said, if anybody does need that link after today, they can reach out to me and or Brooke here in contracting, and we'll get that sent out to you and get you going.
Great. When you do that, you'll see that only under age 65 materials are there, but you can click on the map to see all the plans available in your state. So if you live in Missouri like Sean, you'll see that we have these carriers in the state for ACA. If you live in Florida, Colorado, you can see exactly what you need. That's all on the link that David put in the chat. So click on the link, scroll around, get some training, get yourself certified. Some of the carriers won't appoint you till you get the certification done. So that goes back to watching the prep class and learning how to do those next steps. Certification is free. It's not annual with each carrier like Medicare Advantage, so that'll be much easier. It's cheaper and easier and faster. I think the returning agent spent 45 minutes doing that this year. It was very simple, had 10 questions. So it's nothing like what you've experienced in MA sides. It's much easier all the way around. So just want to make you aware of that. Thanks, friends.
Awesome. Hey, Dave, Clay, thank you guys so much. Thank you, everybody, and we appreciate you. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and happy holidays.
All right, thank
You too.
you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Thanks, guys.